Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to becoming the most informed person at the dinner party, minus, all the hours of reading.
Right, we do the sifting for you.
Exactly. We sift through the stacks, bring you the key insights, hopefully with a dash of fun.
And today?
Today, we're plunging into Emily Henry's brand new novel, Funny Storry.
The latest Emily Henry. Always big news.
Totally. And our guide for this particular adventure is a glowing review from Culturefly.
Okay, Culturefly, got it. So think of this like Cliff's Notes, but way more engaging, hopefully.
That's the plan. Our mission today is basically to figure out what makes Funny Storry tick. What's the magic that already has people buzzing?
Right, giving folks the inside scoop on whether it's like grab you from page one compelling.
No, I don't know about you, but when an author I love releases a new book, there's always that tiny voice, isn't there? Like, can it really live up to the last one?
Oh, absolutely. The pressure's on. Especially with Emily Henry Happy Place, book lovers. Yeah. Those set a high bar.
Exactly. Well, the Culturefly review actually jumps right into that. And spoiler alert, the reviewer's enthusiasm, it's pretty infectious. Oh. Sort of sets a really positive tone from the get-go.
Interesting. And what's cool is the reviewer apparently admits having that exact skepticism going in.
Yeah.
That can I love these new people as much as Harriet and Wynne feeling. So the fact that this hesitation apparently just melted away pretty fast.
Yeah.
That says a lot about Henry's writing, doesn't it?
It really does. They apparently still have a soft spot for the Happy Place characters, but were, totally won over by the new pair, Daphne and Miles. Makes you curious how she does it.
Definitely. Okay, so let's get into the story itself. Who are Daphne and Miles?
Right, so Daphne. She's a librarian, and apparently she had her life all planned out, like classic rom-com style. Meet cute, fall in love.
The whole shebang.
Pretty much. She was all set to move to her fiancé Peter's cozy little small town, aiming for that Hallmark movie ending,
Uh-oh, I sense a butt coming.
Oh, it's a big butt. Plot twist time. Peter doesn't just call off the wedding.
No.
He calls it off to be with his childhood best friend, Petra.
Ouch. Okay, that's rough. A classic rom-com rug pull. Poor Daphne.
Totally. Suddenly she's starring in a very different kind of movie.
So there she is, suddenly single, stuck in this town that was meant to be her happy ever after.
Exactly. And needing a new job, probably far, far away. It's that fish out of water thing, but with extra heartbreak. What's the escape plan?
Well, this is where Miles comes strolling in. Turns out, he's Petra's ex.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Right, equally blindsided by this whole romantic switcheroo. So Daphne needs a temporary place to crash while she figures her life out. And somehow, she ends up moving in with Miles.
Wait, with her ex-fiance's new girlfriend's ex-boyfriend?
Yep. The review paints them as total opposites, which, could be a disaster. Or maybe amazing TV, book material.
Opposites attract. Or at least make for some interesting roommate tension. So it starts practical, but I'm guessing it doesn't stay that way.
Doesn't sound like it. The review says they start to find common ground. They bond over being dumped. For the same person, essentially.
Misery loves company, right? And sometimes leads to unlikely friendships, it seems.
Definitely. And it apparently grows beyond just, complaining about their exes. While Daphne's planning her escape route from town, Miles actually starts trying to convince her to stay. He seems to think the town has more to offer her than just bad memories. The review mentions he has one summer to change her mind.
Interesting. What does he see that she doesn't, I wonder?
Good question. And then things get even more rom-com-y.
How so?
They lean into the fake dating trope.
No way. Really?
Yeah. Apparently, to maybe make their exes jealous or just look like they're doing fine, they start posting these. The review calls them intentionally misleading photos that accidentally make it look like they're an item. I love the reviewer's little accidentally wink there.
Me too. It's very self-aware. So, beneath the fake Instagram posts.
Right. Beneath the shenanigans, the real question starts bubbling up. What if Daphne's fake feelings start feeling? Well, not fake.
Yeah.
And what if Miles feels it too?
The classic conundrum.
Exactly. The review sort of hints that this unexpected path might actually lead Daphne to the happy ending she needed, even if it wasn't the one she planned. Can fake turn into real?
And to really drive home the potential messiness, the review pulls out this quote, which is just perfect.
I'll lay it on us.
In the best of times, it's inadvisable to start lusting after your roommate, and we are nowhere near the best of times.
Oh, that's good. That really sums up the glorious awkwardness, doesn't it?
Totally. Screams rom-com gold. That tightrope walk between friendship and more.
For sure. But what is it about these two, Daphne and Miles, that makes them so engaging? The review really emphasizes their differences, but also how they, complement each other really well.
Okay, let's zoom in on them. Daphne. She's an overthinker, apparently. And maybe a big chunk of her identity was tied up with Peter.
The review even mentions daddy issues potentially playing a role there.
Right, so maybe her journey is about finding herself outside of that relationship context, which is, pretty relatable stuff.
Totally. And then there's Miles. On the surface, he seems super laid back, right? Like water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
But underneath, the review suggests there's this vulnerability. Something about a tricky relationship with his mom that left him feeling sort of never enough.
Ah, okay. The classic still waters run deep type. That contrast is always compelling.
Exactly. And this, according to the review, is where the real depth comes in. Despite being so different on the surface,
They connect.
deeply, because of these shared childhood things, these feelings of not being quite good enough for a parent, the review stresses that they really see each other, warts and all.
Okay, that's powerful. That sense of acceptance. It makes sense that would forge a strong bond, even out of difficult stuff.
In that bond, that understanding is apparently the bedrock of the romance. The review makes a big point about the slow burn.
Ooh, I love a good slow burn.
Me too. It starts with genuine friendship. There might be sparks, sure, but Henry apparently makes them wait. Keeps them in the friend zone for a good while.
Building that foundation.
Precisely. Deepening the emotional connection first.
Which, as the reviewer notes, just makes the eventual chemistry pop even more, right?
You got it. That build-up makes the payoff feel earned, more rewarding. The emotional intimacy grows, then the physical attraction follows. It feels believable, like you said, slow burn romance.
So the main conflict isn't just, will they kiss already?
Apparently not. It's deeper. It's rooted in that very real fear of messing up a really important friendship.
Yeah. That's tricky.
They found this safe harbor in each other when things were rough. And now they're scared to risk it for something romantic that might not last. It's that feeling of having too much to lose.
That makes sense. It sounds like the story taps into something bigger, though, doesn't it? Like the courage to grab onto what makes you feel whole, even if it's scary or unexpected.
And letting go of what drains you.
Yeah.
That sounds like a theme that hits home beyond just rom-coms.
Definitely. And the fake dating part, how does that play out? Is it just cheesy?
The reviewer seems to think it's used really well. Not predictable, apparently. And those make them green with envy moments. Super satisfying for the reader.
You can almost picture the exes scrolling through Instagram, seething.
Exactly. That playful fun. But importantly, the review stresses that the fake dating is more like the vehicle, not the destination.
Okay, so it serves the plot, but it's not the main event.
Right. The real heart is that friends to lovers journey. That's where you get the emotional punch and the authentic relationship stuff Emily Henry's known for. It's about the real connection under the fakeness.
Gotcha. And what about the side characters? Do they feel real?
Seems so. The review gives a shout out to Miles' sister Julia and Daphne's colleague Ashley. Says they're well developed and make the world feel richer, more believable.
That's always a good sign. Makes the whole thing feel more immersive.
And, unsurprising for Emily Henry, the review praises her skill with settings making them vivid, almost places you wish you could visit, and characters you wish you knew.
Yeah, she definitely has a knack for that, creating worlds you want to step into.
So the final verdict from Culturefly. Overwhelmingly positive. Huge love for the story, huge love for the characters. The reviewer basically says, words aren't enough. Full 5 stars.
Wow. High praise indeed. Almost sounds like they felt an Emily Henry book is always a guaranteed 5 stars for them.
That's kind of the vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
A pretty safe bet for a great read if you like her style.
Okay, so for anyone listening whose interest is piqued, Funny Storry was published by Viking April 25th, 2024. Let's maybe wrap up our own deep dive here.
Sounds good. So,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, Funny Storry looks like another winner from Emily Henry. It's got the humor, the romance, but also real emotional depth.
Driven by these two really relatable characters, Daphne and Miles, and their satisfyingly slow journey from roommates to friends to maybe more.
Yeah, that slow burn seems key. The fake dating adds fun, definitely, but the core strength is that authentic connection they build while navigating past hurts and sort of stumbling into something new together.
So the reviewer's take is pretty clear. If you like contemporary rom-coms, especially ones with well-drawn characters and maybe themes of finding yourself again, this sounds like a strong contender for your next read.
For sure. And, this whole dive into Funny Storry, it really brings up that idea of how important it is to really see someone and be seen by them, flaws and everything.
True.
Makes you think? Maybe. What are the qualities of connection you find most essential in friendships, in romance? What really matters? Definitely some food for thought after the book's done. Read it or skip it.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Read it or skip it.